Hi, and welcome to Something for the Weekend, brought to you as always by Together 2012. We're an arts organisation led by disabled artists and based in the main London 2012 Paralympic host borough of Newham, East London. I'm Ju Gosling. I'm an artist, also known as Ju90, and artistic director. With me in my East London studio, where she's been locked down since last March, is our chair, the artist and activist Julie Newman. And also with us at the moment is one of our studio cats, the Tabby Jinx. So I'm going to come back and give you some full introductions and audio description in a minute. But first, over to the other end of our long virtual wheeled sofa to the West Midlands for some introductions and audio description. And, well, probably no prizes for guessing, but let's also talk about what you're dressed up to go out to stay in to do this week.
Hello, and I'm Tracy Surgeoner, and I am dressed up to go out to stay in to watch the Tokyo Olympics. I am wearing a red baseball cap with the Paralympic symbol on it. I'm wearing a red and blue sweatshirt zippy, which has got swimming. You can't quite see it. It's got the British swimming on the one breast pocket, and it says TYR on the other, which is the sponsors, I think. I've got two blonde ponytails that have been plaited either side of my hat, and yeah, I'm ready to go.
You look really sporty, Tracy. I understand
Thank
you
you.
borrowed all that from other members of the household, but you actually look like the most convincing athlete of the lot. Sorry about that, Paralympic.
Thank you.
I'm used to it. Don't worry. So I am Robin Surgeoner, also known as the artist Angry Fish, and business director at Together 2012. Yeah, up here in a very, very wet Sutton Coldfield. Cannot believe the change in the weather. We had floods on Wednesday night, all very exciting. So we are here in the studio. We're behind us is some nice velvety dark red curtains. And I am, to complement those, I am wearing silver white hair, no rimmed black arm glasses that are currently in one piece for the first time this week, I think. It's been a long week. And I am wearing a light grey hooded sweatshirt. Again, it's got it says Team GB across the breast, then some Japanese writing, which hopefully says Team GB. And then below that it says Tokyo, and there is the kind of lion crest of the GB Olympic team.
Fantastic. I was actually going to say, you just reminded me, I don't know if other people know, but I've only just discovered there is a very kind of full-on home optician service. We haven't been able to get our glasses changed for about 18 months, and I now discover that Specsavers, Boots, Uncle Tom Cobley and all will actually come to you with a really full service. So yeah, if there's anybody out there who can't get to the opticians and needs to look it up, I was really, really surprised at how easy it was to find out about it, and indeed looks very easy to book. But in the meantime, we are wearing what I think are official t-shirts, except they say Tokyo 2021. They've got the official Japanese logo on a grey t-shirt with Tokyo 2021 and the Olympic rings. I find on social media it's officially Tokyo 2020, but it's taking place in 2021. So there seems to be a lot of confusion about that. I've got a matching, I'm giving some of the audio description away, Julie, so don't scowl, but we've both got matching black and white Tokyo official baseball caps as well. Julie has been supporting Team GB by buying up as much merchandise as she possibly can to wear in front of the telly. Apart from that, I've got a self-styled hennaed Corona crop, mercifully hidden under the cap, I've got black plastic glasses with the green eyes behind them. I've got pale olive skin, black wrist braces, and silver coloured jewellery. And we're sitting in front of our wonderful Together 2012 graffiti banner that we made in 2014 as part of our art club activities with a company called Graffiti Life. So shout out to you. We love our banner. You can see full images of it on our website, but it's covered with pictures of all the different arts we cover in the course of a year, from dance, visual arts, live music, street art, carnival art, well, all sorts of outdoor arts, poetry, spoken word, and much, much more. And very soon we'll be hearing some poetry from this week's pop-up poetry club, looking at some art from the art club. We've got join in with Tracy activities. We've got join in with Stara. Of course, we've got our Clockwork Paralympics. And I forgot to audio describe the final member of the presenting team in East London, which is Tanny the teddy bear. And Tanny is dressed for racing and is carrying a Team GB placard. And Tanny will be waiting to see whether she gets to carry on wearing a medal this week, later with our Clockwork Paralympics, because whoever wins, their teddy gets a chance to wear a medal for the next week. Apart from that, we then have the week ahead, lots of recommendations for free activities mostly that you can do online or offline, but safely from home. And then finally, but by no means least, we have an interview with Sandstone Silver, the songwriter from Liverpool. So lots and lots and lots to look forward to. But before that, finally, Julie, what do you look like?
Today, I'm dressed as Sporty Spice. I know you can't tell the difference, but it is me under here. I'm wearing the same outfit that Ju is, but not. It's actually my own. It's not Ju's outfit.
Different size.
Different sizes, yes. Horses for courses and all of that. So yes, I have a baseball cap with Tokyo 2020 or 2021, which seem to be interchangeable at the moment. I have gold and silver lengthening hair on my shoulders on top of my grey t-shirt with the logo from the Olympics and the words saying Tokyo 2021 and the Olympic rims underneath it.
And I have to say, lovely curly hair.
Indeed, it's more curly than I'd anticipated.
Golden hair with little lockets at the end. Who would have known?
Indeed.
I think, yes, I don't think I look terribly different if you look at the photos from last March when we started our live streams in response to the pandemic. But Julie's hair has certainly grown a lot.
I say thank you for the baseball caps myself. I had a multitude of sins.
This reminded me so much about how I used to love my dolls and playing with the hair. And it's just like having dress up Barbie, only with barbed wire instead. She just doesn't seem to want to play those games. But of course, you've been far too busy and important this week, haven't you, Julie? Because you were on LBC yesterday morning.
Yes, so I believe. I haven't been able to track down the recording yet, but
too early for us to wake up to listen to. Isn't that dreadful?
Well, it was, I think, 1 o'clock in the morning. So although I was watching the television sneakily, I have to say, watching the Olympics, I wasn't. I was more interested in that than hearing myself on the radio. Yeah, I got invited to comment on the government's newly released disability strategy, so called, because I don't actually see anything strategic in it. I think I have a very clear idea of what a strategy looks like, and this doesn't look like that. So I was asked to comment on it.
Yeah, and you were saying you'd had a look at it, Robin.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, I it is a very long document, and I am going to work my way through it. But I did read the introduction to it and some of the summary of the things that it claims there's going to change over the next, is it a 10-year strategy? Yeah, there are just too many contradictions to mention at this point. But it says lots of really lovely things about making the world accessible to everybody and everybody having the same access to everything. But surely that's already supposed to be the case.
Well, that's true. There has been a lot of criticism from disability organisations. It's not the kind of thing that, well, probably Together 2012 should get involved in. It hasn't been in the past. But of course, I also co-chair Regard, the National LGBTQI plus disabled people's organisation, and we had no contact with this at all. And I think that's what's coming out from lots of organisations, that they weren't consulted. You know, it wasn't co-produced, and they're not very happy about it. But whether you think it's a good strategy or a bad strategy, I do encourage you to check it out for yourself. I'm sure they've remembered the easy words and pictures version, aren't you, Robin?
Well, I mean,
Don't read the rest of it, just ask for the accessible version.
it did list, actually, on the link that I saw, it listed the regular version, BSL supported version, and an easy access version. I mean, I didn't look at them, but they are listed.
Brilliant. Well, that's what I'm going to go for. And what I recommend is the easy access version. But in the meantime, we're going to move on and hear some poems from this week's Pop-Up Poetry Club. The Poetry Club takes place on a Wednesday morning. It's run by phone. We phone you and we pay for the calls. And either Noel, our engagement support worker, or Alison Marchant, who's the international artist who leads our clubs, will phone you before 10:30, add you to the call, and then we try and really kind of adopt the same spirit that we had when we met in a physical venue. So we share poems together, we might do some voice exercises together, talk about a subject, then we ring off, people write a poem and then come back to share it. I mean, obviously you don't have to finish a complete poem in that time, but it's amazing how many people do. And this week, the theme, in order to honour the Olympics, was TV sport. So, Robin, would you like to start us off?
Oh, I've got it up for Tracy as well. Hold on.
Oh, we could have Tracy.
No, I've got it now. I've got it. So this first one, actually, to buck the trend, is from Duncan Bridgestock, and this is actually called Exciting Modern Jazz. I'm not in a hurry for Andy Murray. Sport scores now. In my estimation, I don't want to vent my spleen, but bebop is more my scene.
So that one is for everybody who's thinking I should turn off now because I just hate TV sports. There'll be lots more things coming up as well. Julie, do you have one, I think, from Paiza Malik?
Yes, I do. Thank you. This is from Paiza. It's called TV Sports. In sports, you move your body to keep your mind active and healthy. Movement is my form of sport, doing it at home or at the resort to keep my limbs light and flexible, my back and hips from feeling terrible. I go to the gym for practice to ensure all parts stay in one piece. I join the salsa, zumba, and exercises. The accompanying music is simply gorgeous. We have it in the hall, free from wind and rainfall. Also at the open park, full of fresh air and never dark. I do many forms of sport so that my mind and body never rot.
Thank you, Paiza. And Paiza won't mind me saying she is a 74-year-old wheelchair user. So if she can keep fit and active, what is the excuse for the rest of us? I'll have to look in the mirror and see. But in the meantime, Tracy, do you want to give us a poem?
Yeah, this one's by Dawn Barber and it's called The Strongest Man. They lift and pull the strongest men. They sweat and shout to let us know what's all about. It's exciting to watch them on TV. They're so brave. I don't know how they do it. Pulling cars and pulling lorries, lifting weights and great big stones. What a show. Give praise to them all. You're doing a great job.
Thank you, Tracy, and thank you, Dawn. And it just really reminded me that there's such a massive range of TV sport. It isn't all watching people run around in circles, as I tend to think of athletics as. So this is Ellen Goody, and it's called Jump High. Jump high. I like swimming away like the Olympics. I like football, my favourite sport. Goal in the net. Jump up high on the trampoline. And that's great. And I think that's Ellen really looking at participation, which of course is what the elite sport is supposed to do, inspire us all. And I have to say, I was loving the taekwondo, thinking I wish we'd been able to do that at school. I was still able to kick things hard. That looked like a lot of fun. So, Robin, do you have another poem for us?
Yeah. This next one is from Glory Sengo, and this is just simply called Rugby. When I was watching rugby union, I was watching Sale and Leicester, and Martin Johnson was scoring 10 points, and they were scoring more, 24 points. They were passing to each other, and they were running, and they scored 100 points.
Now that sounds like a very, very memorable match. Thank you very much. Tracy, do you have another poem for us?
I have. This one is by Alison Marchant, and it's The Long Distance Runner. On TV, I watched an old monochrome film from 1959, all about a rebellious youth at a reform home. He finds that he has a talent for long distance running. It was a way to cope with his troubles. During his solitary runs, he finds a sense of freedom. Memories of his life and times flooded before him, which led him to evaluate his status as an Institute Governor's Prize runner. In the final run for a prestigious prize against a pupil from a public school, despite the roars of the crowd, he deliberately stopped just before the finishing line and let the other win.
Thank you for that, Alison. I very, very vaguely remember that film, but it really sort of tells that story. And again, TV sport, it can be a very different, sport on TV might be something very different to what we think. So this is Crystal Peasy and it's called Olympics. If I was in the Olympics, I would go swimming every day. Then I would be active in sport and flexible. I would do things that I've never done before and maybe getting fitter. I would not be relying on an oxygen machine and my wheelchair and all the equipment that I use now. I can have air and butterfly wings. And I thought that was lovely. Thank you so much, Crystal. And I know you're a swimmer. Well, of course, you're a Paralympic champion swimmer, Robin. But you were saying last week that one of the things you loved watching was the gymnastics, specifically because you couldn't do it. And I think there's a sort of sense from that in Crystal as well, isn't there?
Yeah, very much so. I'm awed by just stuff that people can do, but then I'm awed by people who can run downstairs as well.
What about upstairs? I would have thought that's a bit more of a challenge. But anyway, Judy, do you want to share us your poem now?
Thank you, Ju. My poem's called Day 5, Tokyo 2020. I've resorted back to 2020 rather than 21. The rich warmth of other people's efforts unfold as weeks of variety are promised. Tickets are free, no queues, parking is easy. The house allows a choice of seats, snacks available as needed. So we settle down and prepare to watch the fates of others, not in the hands of gods but judges. On day 5, our lives have been enriched with the marvels of team sports, opening the mysteries of rules and penalties, the clash of sticks, the flash of a speeding ball, the splash of churning water, creating a riveting theatre in which to view the dramas of human endeavour. The arenas are varied, waters boiling with human fish, leaping out, running for 2 wheels, then pedalling through landscapes new to finish, making their ways through the clash of wheels and ambition, ending with surprised faces and broken dreams. Fields with brightly coloured players, running back and forth in pursuit of success, measured by the placement of a flying ball into a net over a line. How rich this feast, restricted only by the impact of sleepless nights and attention distracted from the demands of daily life. Then come the tears, mixed with waters dripping from the shoulders of heroic embattled swimmers, rejoicing with families separated by the miles, but solidly supporting, loving their local heroes. Much talk of journeys, troubled bodies carrying the toll of years of pain. New understanding comes of sports freshly viewed. Kicks and falls become the norm through days of careful explanation given freely by softly spoken experts. Medals fly past open hands, then settle around the necks of the worthy, who poise proudly bearing their fruits. Apparatus fills the screen as crocodiles of fit young people are herded between fresh opportunities to shine. Full turns, somersaults, combination cartwheels, and double pikes become the language of the day, as is the talk of the hands of the judges and broken ambition. Dancing horses enraptured viewers with shining coats and rippling muscles, controlled and held in check as forearms raised when stepping hooves twinkle and shine in the light. Against the background of majestic music, this partnership ends with pride, if not medals. This full taste of energy and endeavour brings a flavour of more to come. The celebration of athletics and sport flourishes even in the face of adversity. There is a constant uncertainty which is reflected in the sudden absences, but then the joy of those who triumph overcomes.
Thank you, Julie. And I think we should dedicate that to all the Paralympic athletes that are getting ready as we speak for Tokyo. What else have you got for us from the West Midlands?
Do you want to go?
No.
I'll find yours quickly.
Okay.
It is. Here we go.
Okay, so my final one is from Taylor Hensel, and it's Sports on TV. In the sprints going for gold, go to the fast, go to be bold. Now the diving board up the ladder, jump and splash, the audience chatter. Long jump, high jump, racing cars, gymnastics balancing on their bars, and viewers in awe of what they've seen, cheers at home at their TV screens.
Great, thank
I
you,
like that one.
Taylor, and thank you, Tracy. And did you have one more, Robin?
I do. This is from Dwayne Bryan, and this is called TV Sport. My favourite sports channel is Question of Sport, where I sit down and resort. It's very entertaining. It focuses my brain in. They will make you laugh. They will make you smile. They will entertain you for a while. They will ask you questions that you may not know. They will ask you questions. They will make you smile. They will entertain you. They will run the show. They will ask you questions you may not know. They will goggle your mind.
Thank you, Dwayne, and thank you, Robin. And again, that's another way in which we have sport on TV is quizzes like Question of Sport. So we're going to move on now and look at the Together Art Club from this week. But first, if you'd like to join in from home with the Pop-Up Poetry Club, next week's theme is space travel. We would love to see your poems. If you'd like to join the Pop-Up Poetry Club, just visit our website, www.together2012.org.uk, and follow the links under the 2021 programme, or just drop us a line, info@together2012.org.uk. Noel will get in touch, sort out the phone details, brief you, and we look forward to welcoming you to the Pop-Up Poetry Club. But otherwise, if you'd like to join in from home, next week's theme is space travel. So on a Tuesday, the Art Club meets, and that's on Zoom from 11 to 12. And on a Friday morning, we have a still life session. So what we do is Alison Marchant creates a picture that's shared on Zoom, but we can also text, email, or WhatsApp it to you, whatever is going to be the easiest. And then whether you've got pencils, crayons, pastels, paints, whatever you have available, we spend an hour quite mindfully drawing and painting and then showing each other the work. It's a very nice session, and Alison also does a great deal of audio description at the beginning, which helps people to really start looking carefully at the image, but I think is helpful for anybody because we're doing this on screen. So I'm going to put the image up, and then as usual, get Robin to audio describe it.
Okay, so what we have here is a purse at the back with a flower in front. The flower, if I know anything, I think is an orchid, and it has very kind of burnt orange edged petals that lighten to a kind of white stripe in the middle, and then with the stems, I think they're called stamen, pointing out through the middle of the flower in a very kind of palely whitey grey. And then behind that is a grey and white purse, I guess, with a gold clasp at the top, but the kind of two little bobbles that you have to clip over each other. And then the right side at the front of that is a multicolored flower made up of lots of pieces of felt to create the petals.
Thank you, Robin. And as always, we are very envious of Alison's collection of bags and shoes. Oh, sorry. Right, so this is the first drawing, and this is from Sophia. And it's a drawing that's been done, I think, in felt tip. So she's got a really big orange flower at the back, at the front, and then she's managed to use pale blue for the grey, and then lots of different colours for the flower. So well done, Sophia. Oh, something's not working properly on our BeLive host system yet again, but there you go. This is Lee Brooker, and Lee's done a beautiful drawing in coloured pencil. So we may have a slight hiccup while I just move on to the next picture, which I can only blame B.Live. Yep, there we go. So this one I think is mostly coloured pencil, and this is by Margaret Spence. And another lovely drawing with the bright orange flower in the front and the multicoloured flower on the other side on the bag. And then finally, this is Crystal Peasy, and Crystal has painted hers, and she's used browns, reds, yellows, and greens. So thank you very much, Crystal. And well done to everybody at the Art Club. To join the Art Club, again, look at our website under the 2021 programme, follow the club's links, or just drop us a line, info@together2012.org.uk. So we've had a comment come up on the live chat. The handbag is lovely. Has some lady made it? Do you know, I'll ask Alison that and get back to you. It wouldn't surprise me, but she hasn't told us. So the Art Club also meets on a Tuesday for a Make and Natter session. And for Make and Natter, you can either join in with our activities, which are mostly based on recycled materials, or just bring your own craft project along. And one of the things the Make and Natter session are doing at the moment is looking at our kitchen carnival and making percussion instruments. So if you're interested in the kitchen carnival, we've talked a lot about that the last couple of weeks. Go to the website under the Join In From Home programme. There's lots and lots more about it. Or you can just go to www.kitchencarnival.org. And I've just got one thing to show us here. And this is from Sophia again. And what Sophia is in the process of doing is decorating a wooden spoon with felt tip pens. And that's going to become her scraper as she makes the percussion instrument, the guiro, out of a plastic bottle. So anybody else who's currently making things for the Kitchen Carnival, we would really love to see them. Please let us know. Again, info@together2012.org.uk will easily reach us. Next, we've got Join In with Tracy. So I'm afraid, Tracy, I'm going to pop this up on screen. And then we're going to assume that every time the picture changes, I'm going to have to press an extra button until it's sorted out properly again.
Okay. Well, for this week, I've kept it quite simple and quite quick because we're all watching the Olympics. And I've just put together the final object is a card. So I'm using a cereal box a sheet of paper, scissors, and a few different coloured felt tip pens. Here I've just cut the box open so that I could use the ruler and a pen to cut out the size that I need for the card. You can cut out whatever size or shape that you would like to use. Here I'm just going for a rectangle, so I'm just sort of using one half of the box, about 3/4 of the way up, and then another line to create my card shape. And then that's the outside of the box. I put that to one corner so that I could create a smaller rectangle to go on the inside of the card so that we can write on the card, write our message on the card. And then, as you can see, I've stuck the white paper on the outside so it gives a nice yellow border. And then I'm going to use the inside of the box, which is sort of like a grey colour, as the outside. So that's my sort of, yeah. And there you go, that's the inside. So that's saying, happy craft days to all our participants and our artists. And then on the outside, I think it gives it quite a nice marble effect, actually, the inside of the box. We've just got our little teddy following with our teddy bears, following the teddy bear picnic, and it's holding all the balloons for our Together TV show. So it's, yeah, there we go. It's quite an easy one, but I thought it was just a little bit of fun.
Yeah, I thought that was great, Tracy. It never occurred to me to make a card like that.
Right, just hoping that Ju and Julie are going to reappear on our screens. We're filling for the moment, hoping that we are still live. So that was a lovely little card there and quite simple to do. So
yeah, thank you.
Really, cards can be so expensive, and obviously at the moment going out to buy cards is not always that easy. Of course, sometimes you've got to post them, but if they're just for a card for someone in the house, then that would be absolutely lovely.
Yeah, and drawing wise, if you aren't the best artist, although we've got some very good artists, you could always choose a picture from a magazine or collection of pieces of paper to design your own picture or collage on the front. That always looks quite good as well.
Okay, in the meantime, we'll just continue talking about some of the stuff that we've been looking at over the last few weeks. I think one of the things I was going to say earlier, looking at Ju and Julie's T-shirts, you'll see that they've got the logo for the games. And what I'll do, or get one of us to do, is to look up to find the link for the description of the logo, because it's actually, you think, well, it's just a grey and black, white and grey circle or black squares, is it random? But actually it isn't. It has a quite deep explanation of what the shapes mean about the cohesion of the community and how everything fits together. So that would be something, you could Google search it yourselves as well. I hope we can find that link. I believe there's someone coming. Oh, okay. Well, I'll just talk over for the time being. We've still got lots of stuff to look at. At the moment, we lots of stuff. Getting in our doors. Kitchen carnival stuff, making instruments. Perhaps now might be the time before you start your kind of next lot of throwing away things and going in the recycling and think, well, actually, what instrument could I make out of this? Is it something I can blow? Is it something I can hit? Is it something I can shake? Instruments come in all shapes and sizes. I certainly remember as a kid, and something that was really useful was getting different bottles, filling them with different amounts of water and blowing over the top for different notes. Tracy, you were going to say something?
Yeah, well, we're back actually. Ju's back, so I'll just let Ju. I was going to give you a little bit more information about the kitchen carnival things, but I'll leave that till next week.
We haven't gone anywhere. We've been desperately sending you messages.
Oh,
You can't see us, but we are still here.
could you see us? We couldn't see you.
Yes, we could.
Oh, that's all
I'm
right
not sure
then.
what anybody else could hear, but anyway, let me just without further ado, join in with Stera. Like I say, our hosts B.Live have upgraded their app again, so we might just have another couple of issues before we get through to 4 o'clock, but please do bear with us. And here is Join In with Stera, and here's the cat coming to join in.
Hi, I'm Stera, and I made a fountain. Oh, because you were so hot. It was really hot. It was good. And the fountain made me all wet with the fountain. Bye.
Thank you, Stera. And Stera made that fountain by attaching a hose to a water bottle with holes in it, which was then sitting on top of a plant pot and using the holes in the plant pot. So that will be on our website later, www.together2012.org.uk. If you go to Together 2012 TV and then go to the pull down menu, you'll find our highlights and links page with all of the poems, all of the pictures, all of the videos, and links to the next item, which is coming up, which is the week ahead. But first, dashing through it, we'll have our Clockwork Paralympics. It's a sprint this week between our meerkat competitors. They're on a new course in the bathroom, so they're going to sprint across the bathroom floor. So that's your audio description. Robin's teddy is a wee thing with a little blue jacket and a red love heart, very sweet, looking desperate for a medal. We said. So if you're joining in from home, choose the right side or left side of the screen now. Robin, right or left?
We're going to go for the right side of the screen as we look at it.
Here we go.
So we have our new track. Here we go. Wow, this is going to be really close. Goodness me. Oh, questionable there from where I was.
Side of the screen one. Well, I was there. So I'd forgotten to take the medal off Tanny from last week because we won last week as well, after, I have to say, a bit of a drought. So just finally on the kitchen carnival, there's a comment from Miko Cat who says, there was night carnival in Thames Festival for many years, but no more. I miss them. There were many carnival troops and one featured green bins as drums and homemade instruments. And that gives me a wonderful plug for my first item for the week ahead, which is next Thursday is the first Thursday of the month. And therefore, we will be Zooming together from 7 to 8 p.m. And because it's August and because it's the Kitchen Carnival, we have a special guest, Zimali, who is the lead of the band we used to play with Paracarnival, or rather we used to parade with Paracarnival. I'm sure the band is still with Paracarnival. Zimali ran a wonderful Summer Together Carnival workshop for us in August 2019, and you can find the video of that in our Joining from Home programme on the website. But what we're going to be doing next Thursday is percussion with kitchen pots and pans. So instead of in the past, people used to come to physical venues and we would hand out percussion instruments, people could choose whatever they want. Now it's about going into your kitchen. What do you want to bang on to make plenty of noise? Bring it to us next Thursday. Again, drop us a line, info@together2012.org.uk, or any other means of contact that's on the contact page on our website, and we will send you the Zoom link and look forward to seeing you then. Robin, what are you recommending for the week ahead?
The first thing I have got is called Relaxation Through Art with artist Brenda Coyle. Now, this is a series of workshops. They're on YouTube and they're free. And kind of it's really good because we've talked a lot about art and meditation. And the idea of these workshops is to give people some skills and some ideas about how to be both creative and meditative, how to meditate whilst making art, or how to make your art help you meditate. And it looks really good, and it seems there's like from looking at it, I think it changes weekly but runs every day from 10 till 6 as a standard channel.
Brilliant. And I think it's so important. We've really tried to incorporate mindfulness into the sessions, well, certainly for the still life. And I think it's really improved the quality of the work, because at the end of the day, it's very difficult to focus when you're at home and you're not in the same room as everybody else, and there may be all sorts of things going on, and the picture's maybe not very good and the sound's not great. But we can use that mindfulness to really help ourselves relax, but also get a much better much better outcome for our art at the same time. Julie, what did you want to recommend first?
Well, following on from Robin's recommendation, I've come across MILAP, which is the UK leading organisation for Indian arts and culture, and they're presenting Rimpa Siva, who is a tabla player, and she's being introduced in advance of their Music for the Mind and Body.
Wonderful. And the booking link for that will be on our website. So the first thing I wanted to recommend is an open mic event, which in fact takes place monthly, but this has a special guest. So it's called Fire and Dust, and it's organised from Coventry by Coventry's Big Comfy Bookshop. And open mic spots are quite hotly contested. So what they do is they have a lucky draw at the beginning of the session. So you can email them and say you want to be in the draw for an open mic spot. But the headline set is from Belfast poet Elizabeth McGowan. And again, it's a wonderful opportunity to see a poet without being able to travel to Belfast. So that's next Thursday. It's free. The Zoom opens at 7:15 and it starts at 7:30. Tracy, what would you recommend?
Well, I found a series that's on BBC Three, but you can also get it on iPlayer at any time, called the called the Rap Game UK. And it's actually, this is the third series of this show. I hadn't found it before. It is a bit of a reality. It is a reality show, but I think that it comes across much more as something real and genuine rather than some of the other reality shows that you get. And it's about 6 young rap artists, all fighting for a position, a prize of £20,000 to launch them onto their career. So I'm quite excited about watching that, and it's on a Thursday at 10:35.
And it's funny because often I've got into series after you've recommended them on iPlayer. But yeah, I've started watching the Rap Game because I was really interested as a poet. You know, it's such a distinct form of poetry, and particularly hip hop, which I love. And I was sort of I was sort of following it up and reading much more about 16 bar structure and how you write bars and how you rap. So yeah, it's absolutely fascinating. Actually, this one I will just jump in with as well, which is Monday, and it's a workshop called Anyone Can Write, which is online from 6 to 7:30, and it's Arts Council funded for what they call novice and intermediate writers. So if you're a published writer, you probably won't need it, but anybody else would benefit. And it doesn't say who, but it's led by an Olivier Award nominated writer, and it covers structure, character development, dialogue, finding your own voice, funding and programming, which is an awful lot to fit into an hour and a half. So it sounds really, really great. So the booking link for that, as always, will be up on our highlights and links page. Robin, what else would you recommend?
I thought I would kind of step out a little bit, go outside in the big wide world, virtually, of course. I found a great website for some Grand Canyon tours. I mean, luckily, I have actually been to the Grand Canyon in many years ago, and it's still something that sticks with me. And the pictures themselves, it is such an incredible feature. And these tours, there are tours of the river, tours from the river, tours from helicopters, tours from the kind of edges that I would never want to go anywhere near the edge of. But it is a really, really incredible place, and it's 6,000 feet tall.
Yeah, it's just incredible. It's like so many things. Yes, it's disappointing not to be able to go in real life, which is mostly because of access and money and not even COVID, but it's incredible what it opens up and what you can see. Julie, what else did you recommend?
Well, I found a free online event looking at planting and pollinators. I think it's international. It's booked through Eventbrite, but it's featuring hummingbirds and other beautiful pollinators. And I think in this time of quite distinct climate change and the impact of the environment on the environment of people, I think it's really important to be able to look at planting and who we're planting for. And I think it probably is of interest to naturalists as well.
Yes, I mean, the first things I ever put into my backyard over 30 years ago were flowering shrubs, and most of them have still survived. And I was just fascinated earlier in the week where I saw a white type of butterfly and a tortoiseshell type of butterfly. I can't go any further than that because I didn't, of course, have my phone out in the garden. But it was the first time I'd seen those kind of butterflies in the garden for years. And I think there's been a real focus on houseplants, but even on a windowsill, there's plants that you can put in to attract bees and butterflies. And I've had so many bees in the garden for the honeysuckle, which again, started as one tiny little plant and is now kind of, slightly running away with itself. My final item is colour theory and how you should use it, which again is free, and it's next Thursday from 6 to 7, presented by Sabrina Matheson. And it's about just an introduction to what colour theory is, the meaning of colours, what they're associated with, and choosing colours. And it can be very, very helpful to just understand things like colour wheels and what colours are opposite each other on the colour wheel, so you can make an easy selection. And I have to say, given the number of men who experience some degree of colour blindness, it's also useful to use that theory if you can't see the colours yourself, but you're having to create things for other people. So what's your final offering from the West Midlands?
Well, of course, the Olympics, which we've been watching, and I am supporting a pair of really baggy looking eyes this week because I've been watching the Olympics, watching the surfing the other night at gone 12 o'clock. But yeah, I'm still really excited about watching a lot of the Olympics.
Yeah, I think we're absolutely loving it. And you don't have to be able to do it. I mean, I think that's the thing. And sometimes you get interested in it for what are probably the wrong reasons, but it is still fascinating. But I think for me, critically, as an artist, I'm very aware that athletes need audiences. And it's, it's unbelievable that you won't, as artists, we get an opportunity to perform, sometimes whenever we make an opportunity for ourselves. But these artists only get a chance once every 4 years, probably once a lifetime. So I think being an audience at home is something really positive we can do, actually, to support those athletes, to say, yes, you've still got that audience that you need. We all need audiences. But that brings it almost to a close. So we're going to say goodbye from East London. Do catch up with us again next week. There's lots and lots of Kitchen Carnival special activities happening, as well as our Carnival percussion workshop next Thursday. Drop us a line, info@together2012.org.uk. So back to the West Midlands for some final goodbyes and an introduction to our And Finally piece.
Yeah, bye from me.
Oh, that leaves me to Phil, as the film is ever so slightly shorter this week. I'm going to introduce the film is about an artist called John Cottam, otherwise known as Sandstone Silver. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about him than in the film, because I think it's really important, because John is a disabled person in his own way. He's also of mixed heritage, and he's never given up on his dream to be a singer. And despite all the things that he's been through and different jobs and whatever and stuff like that, he's held on to that. And I think very much like Linda, who we had the film from last week, as disabled people, even those of us that are artists now, art was never something that was meant to be what you could do or what you were allowed to do, unless it was some kind of therapeutic thing to keep you busy rather than being out on the street with a tin. Sorry, but and I just think it's really, really important. And John has tried to get funding. You'll hear a little bit about that he has done some in the film here. I just think it's really a really positive message, kind of to underpin this interview, that you can, if you believe in yourself, you can go and make it happen. And so without further ado, let's meet Sandstone Silver.
Thank you, Robin. And I'd just like to echo that message as well. And so that's another thing that you really see with the games, don't you? It's the people who just don't give up, who very often come in as the winners. So without further ado, as you say, let's see Sandstone Silver.
Artist all the way up in Liverpool. Some of you might have met him with his Christmas song. But John, introduce yourself properly, please.
Hi, my name's John. I'm normally known as Sandstone Silver. That's my stage name. But my name's John, and I'm a songwriter, lyrical songwriter who does acapellas, and I like to get my work out there. I just love creative stuff, really. That's it. That's what I do. That's what I love. And yeah, I'm just sending it out to you guys.
What do you write about?
Basically, I write about life, really. I mean, like, I tend to be quite upbeat in my work, but I have two different styles. Basically, it's whatever comes to me. I tend to whistle kind of melodies and things like that. And then once I find like a melody or a note that sounds like a kind of word or something, then I kind of work with that, and then I keep going up, because with my condition, I always kind of think of things over and over and over again. So basically, it's just until the right word sticks, and then I kind of go, oh, I've got something there, and then I kind of take it from there, really. What do I tend to write about? Just life, really. Just things that come to me that I find interesting, the things that I may want to say, things that make me feel. It's emotions, really. Things that make me feel, and I feel that people can connect with, and things that are not said sometimes that I feel that need to be said, or things that people feel that I need everybody to try and connect with. There's a song that I'm in the middle of writing at the moment, and it's not even done yet, but it's something that I feel that everybody may feel sometimes. And it goes, would you like me to demonstrate or?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't get my way no more. No one listens to me. I'm sulking and they don't care. One day I will own the floor and they will enter to me. They'll be sulking and I won't care. Maybe this requires maturity, but they're the ones that started it and did it to me. I don't get my way no more. No one listens to me. I'm sulking and they don't care. But like,
I mean, it brings me to an interesting question. I know you don't play any instruments, and lots of people out there don't play instruments, and they're thinking, well, how can you write songs if you don't play instruments? So, yeah, just briefly take us through how you might start thinking about a song.
Well, basically, for me, it comes from the melody. I kind of like a scat. I you know, like so Ella Fitzgerald, old school, just like, you know, I want to know what song, I want to know what writing is. And could you please tell me? I want to know what writing is. I want to know how to feel. I want to know what writing is. I want to know if it is real. And basically, that's pretty much what I do. Do you know what I mean? I just kind of think of a melody that I feel that's good, and then I put lyrics to it, and then basically I take it from there. But the thing is, once I've done that, then I try and find a drum beat or a click that you can work to that keeps the timings in time. And then I'll try and find music then, which are instrumentals or anything like that, that will go to it. And then that kind of gives us the stage for going into production or kind of some musician. Because I mean, like if I'm going la da 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 da, some like musicians like, what is that? Because I need to know what notations are and melodies. Looking at you to go like, what is that? What is you? What is that? You know, so you know, that's it. So but I just do it because I enjoy it, and that's what I enjoy doing.
Well, I understand that you've recently been lucky enough to get a small grant to take you to the beginning of the next level of being a singer. Would you like to tell us kind of what your plans are with that?
Well, I've got some funding, and I'm going to use that funding to kind of get down to the studio. And basically, I'm going to work with a producer to get some music behind and work out my da-da-da-da-da-da-das into kind of notations and actually make it into a song. I'm hoping to do one or two or work up to an EP, you know, and that's it. I mean, like sort of, it's a small steps as long as I'm moving forward with it and basically getting things, the ball rolling with it and getting things out there and kind of expressing what I love doing. And hopefully people enjoy what I'm doing. And I mean, like that's it. It's kind of one day in the studio, one day mixing, but it's been funded to actually get out there by the Rushworth Trust in Liverpool. And basically, you know, I'm really grateful for it and excited. Hopefully within the next 2 months, I'll have a track with music that you can kind of like sort of, you know, listen to and hopefully enjoy.
So, Mr. Sandstone Silver, I'd love for you to finish with a song on this interview. Please introduce what you're going to sing.
I'm going to do Stepping Through Reality. And this is just a tune that I've kind of like sort of written, and hopefully you might like it. A 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Promise never lost. Living an adventure, colors to the cost, rising to the pressure, in between what might have been and the doubts I never decode. Destiny I dare to dream in power as unfold. You got me stepping through reality. I never want to wake up. Stepping through reality, my dreams are there to touch. Stepping through reality, I dare to change my luck. A new reality taking hold. Vision never lost. I've lost that second verse. Sorry. I'll get.
Okay, we'll leave it at that.